Revised article, journalistic polished style. It starts with disbelief, the kind that only friends can voice out loud. The woman who seizes every excuse to sing, who thrives on drag nights, themed parties, glitter and spotlight, suddenly doesn't want to celebrate her birthday. No fuss, no jazz hands, no audience. For the first time, the life of the party isn't in the mood, because, at 49, reality has interrupted the remix. She insists she loves her life. And she does. But love doesn't cancel out loneliness. Not entirely. Not when the version of life she imagined hasn't quite materialized. Not when you realize that joy and solitude can coexist uncomfortably. Still, reassurance comes easily from those who know her best. She's reminded, gently but firmly, that she is extraordinary. That she makes lives brighter just by being in them. And when words fall short, a simple invitation fills the gap. May I have this dance? Across the room, humor masks heartbreak. Cake is heavy, arms are muscly, jokes are exchanged, but absences are noticed. Todd has disappeared early, supposedly sober, supposedly fine. Something doesn't sit right, but the party rolls on because sometimes it has to. Elsewhere, the truth detonates quietly. Infidelity doesn't always arrive with theatrics. Sometimes it slips out through denial, disbelief, then rage. Carl hasn't just cheated, he's detonated a future. Money saved for a shared dream now feels like salt in the wound. While one partner juggles credit cards, the other plans an escape. The advice is ruthless but loving. Stop crying, remember who you are, and if necessary, take back what's owed, financially and emotionally. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it wears fabulous shoes. Tensions simmer at home. Apologies that aren't apologies. Barbed comments dressed as concern. A house that belongs to everyone and no one at the same time. Peace is requested, but forgiveness is rationed. Family, after all, is rarely simple. At the pub, sarcasm sharpens into something more dangerous. Old resentments, old wounds, and an unresolved hit-and-run resurface. Healing is possible, if pride doesn't get in the way. And sometimes, stubborn love is the only thing that forces change. Meanwhile, suspicion grows quietly elsewhere. A hotel booking that won't complete. A website too bare. A location that looks more like a building site than a retreat. Everyone says it's nothing. Maps aren't updated, websites glitch, but unease lingers. Carla wouldn't laugh this off. And when she returns, someone will hear about it. Because Carla isn't lounging by a pool, she's trapped in a cupboard. Weak, desperate, dependent on medication withheld by someone who insists she isn't a monster, just misunderstood. Becky frames herself as merciful, even kind, as she dangles survival like a bargaining chip. She doesn't need to kill Carla. She just needs to wait. Power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it starves. Back in the ordinary world, dinners are served, jokes are made, and concern creeps in. Becky collapses, or appears to, drawing attention, sympathy, chaos. An ambulance is mentioned. Panic spreads. And then, just as quickly, the moment dissolves into unsettling humor. Nothing here is accidental. Elsewhere, commitments are tested. Sessions are cancelled. Lies are softened. Loyalty is declared loudly enough to convince everyone, including the person saying it. Small victories arrive. A physio session attended, progress made, forgiveness offered. But even reconciliation carries sharp edges. Someone always suspects they've been played. Grief hangs heavy too. Messages of sympathy turn loss into something solid and irreversible. Plans for escape, for a new life, a fresh start, feel fragile when the past refuses to loosen its grip. Money, trust, and silence take on new weight. Then comes the attack. Concussion. A head wound. Hospital lights. Questions that won't wait. Fear sharpens into urgency. They can't ignore the threat anymore. Someone knows too much. Someone is too close. Running suddenly feels like survival, not cowardice. And yet, life keeps going. Business meetings continue. Cocktail nights are planned. Luau themes, Gatsby fantasies, jokes that barely conceal hostility. Forced smiles fracture under the weight of truth. One declaration cuts through all pretense. You will never be my family. Finally, the cold exposes what words won't. Todd is found soaked, shaking, lips blue, no coat, no excuses left. The lie about chips collapses. Expectations, control, emotional neglect, it all surfaces in the freezing air. Love, real love, responds differently. A key is offered. Warmth is insisted upon. Care is non-negotiable. Because concern doesn't lock you out, because love doesn't leave you in the cold, and because sometimes, survival is as simple, and as radical, as choosing kindness over control.